Hello viewers and welcome to today's guide. We have Regicide. A courier has given me a message. I have been sent for King Lapis. I must go to his castle in Ardoin. Now, this message in question, after you finish Underground Pass, a little bit afterwards, you're going to be delivered this message. Once you read it, it goes away and it tells you to come here, and this pretty much all starts the quest. You may have to log in and out to get it to show up. What you're going to need for this quest is 56 agility, which is boostable, but it's going to require a bunch of summer pies if you are under 56. You're also going to need 10 crafting. This is needed to make a strip of cloth, which is tradeable but not GE buyable. You're going to now need a completed Underground Pass. There's also a level 110 Tyras Guard that you need to kill. There are safe spots available if you want to bring mage or range. I am bringing range because I need to train that anyway. They are, however, weak to mage. Some items you're going to need to bring is you're going to want to have probably at least 10 coal, possibly more, so have a bunch of coal. You're going to want to bring a bow. It cannot be a crossbow, as well as a few arrows, as we are going to be trapezing Underground Pass twice. Yay us! Probably about 2 ropes. A spade, you're going to need limestone. Cannot be limestone bricks, has to be just regular mined limestone. A Tonderbox. It's helpful to bring some sort of poison resistant, not just an anti-poison. You can use a Serpentine Helm. It has a passive at, if you have 75 defense, that it'll make you invulnerable to poison and venom. If not, try to bring an Antidote plus, if not an Antivenom plus, because an Antidote plus will make you immune to poison for 12 minutes. The venom will work for 15 minutes. A plank could be handy to go through the traps of Underground Pass. A strip of cloth. Strip of cloth cannot be bought off the GE, just a heads up, but it is tradable between players. You'll need 4 balls of wool, and that's what the 10 crafting is for. Do not confuse this with a bolt of cloth. You're going to need a pestle and mortar. Gloves that completely cover your hands. Cannot be lunar gloves or slayer gloves. A pot and a cooked rabbit. A bunch of this can be obtained during the quest, and what I'm bringing with me right now that you see is what we're going to need right away. It's helpful if you bring some weight-reducing gear, boots of lightness, graceful, stuff like that. I want to bring range stuff to defeat the Tyras Guard, so I'm just bringing my graceful cape. Gloves of silence for the thieving part if you have 54 hunter. Super energy or stamina potions, several of them because there's going to be a lot of running around. Some decent food, monkfish, sharks, or something like that. In hindsight, I cannot stress enough that instead of bringing monkfish, bring summer pies as food and you can ditch the agility bot. Summer pies, each bite gives you 11 HP, boosts your agility by 5 and restores 10% run energy. So a full pie will heal you for 22, gives you 20% run energy, and then unfortunately the boost of agility doesn't stack. But seriously, summer pies, if you can, trust me, use them. For the jumping around in the Underground Pass, it's as well as all the traps that go on in the elf lands, you are going to want to bring agility potions, an axe for you can get food on the other side and it'll help us get a cooked rabbit. Coins, so you can buy food in the Underground Pass just in case, as well as a way to defeat the aforementioned Tyras Guard. So for this first part, you're going to need agility potions and food or summer pies, bow and arrows, preferably fire arrows, but we can make them when we get there. A couple of ropes, tinderbox, spade, your way of curing yourself from poisons, as well as a few inventory spaces. Highly recommend a couple of stamina potions, some GP to buy food in the pass, the combat equipment, as well as your hatchet if you need to cook rabbit when you get there. So please keep in mind that if you are going to the Elflands for a clue, you must talk to King Lapis in order to be able to go all the way through. And where this is the first floor of Ardoin Castle. Once here, give King Lapis a talking to, and then we can head through the Underground Pass. Yay. Yay us. Okay, let's head to the Underground Pass. We're just going to go out of the castle and this gate here to the west. And now you're going to want to go all the way west. Once here, enter the cave entrance. So I'll be explaining on how to get through this in detail the first time. The second time I'm going to speed it up because I hate this place and the mountain can cave in onto it for all I care. So we're going to go through here. Remember to climb over the rock side and not go there. You're going to fall down to that place that no one really likes. Either the ones to the north or the south will do just fine. So for this next part, if you do not have fire arrows, talk to Koftik with a couple of inventory spaces free. He'll give you a strip of cloth per arrow that you want to make into fire arrow. Use it on the arrow, then use the arrow on the fire, and it will make a fire arrow. Yay! Equip your fire arrows, and we are going to want to fire at the rope. That is holding the drawbridge up. When you succeed in firing, you'll see that we just cross over naturally. Now, if you need a plank, it's just over here to the north. I would advise you to grab it. I'm not going to grab it because I want to show you guys what kind of damage you're going to be taking if you do not use it. So just follow the path through. So go south and then east. Use your rope on this thing. Warning, you can fail and you'll have to walk all the way up if you fail. Continue along the path east and then south. Now for the floor puzzle part from Underground Pass, hopefully you jotted down somewhere what your path was. If not, you're going to have to piece together your path again, climbing up each time you fall down. Climb over these rocks here. And climb over these rocks here. This is where you're going to need to remember how you crossed. Thankfully, I believe mine is just directly across. Pull the lever. And go west. Now you're going to want to search these markings because they will hurt you. And this is where you're going to want those gloves of silence because they will help you with these ones. There are 2 markings to search on the north wall, followed by 3 markings on the south wall. Jump down the well. And I think I left some food in one of these crates. I'm unsure if this is just because I never got this food when I did Underground Pass, but doesn't hurt to check. Now we're going to want to go west. There's a northern part that has a rope if you really need it. This first one here to the south, we're going to want to pick lock that, and we're going to want to go dig this mud. Now we go west. And we're going to want to cross this right here. If you fall, just go back to the cage and come back again. This is where having a higher thieving will help. If you have 50 thieving, I do not, you can always pick lock this cage and just go straight through. And this is a shortcut. Just make sure not to go on the bubbles, because you will fall. Unfortunately, that is not an option for me, so I'm gonna have to cross the stone bridge. If you're crossing it, just go over the east, over the east. That's to the south. Go through the north. And north again. And this will get us over. Then you can go south. All the way south. And then west. Squeeze through the pipe. And pass through this tunnel here. That's just to the north. You're going to want to head north. Follow the curve to the east through the zombies. Now you're going to see the knights here, and just a little west is where you're going to have the trap that helps if you have a plank. So use your plank on this flat rock and watch while I get ouched by it. So that's how you don't do it. As you can tell, it hurts a bunch. Continue to the west. And open this door here with the ram skull. Okay, remember this area. We're gonna go a little south. And this right here is where we're gonna want to cross. So cross the bridge. Go around here, cross the bridge here. To the south. If you fall, this is where you land. To get out, you go south. I'm going to take a quick detour to show you where you can buy food. These little dwarf guys. So you talk to Cayman here. One very important thing with talking with Cayman though is do not accept his offer because your agility level will go down. This is not something you want to have happen. If you say no thank you, he will charge you 75 GP. And that's what you're going to want to do instead, especially if your agility level is a little bit lower. And just to the east of where the dwarves are, it's going to be a way back up. Go all the way to the east and then go north until you hit the first pathway on your west. This is another path that we can take over. Just go west and over, west and over. Follow this path west, north, then east. Go east over. Follow it a little further. East and then go north. Just keep going north, keep going north. Cross over here. Then we're here to the north. Now, thankfully, this time we do not need to kill the disciples of Iben. From the outside of the temple, it looks like Iben is still setting off his pyrotechnics, but you don't need to worry because when you go inside, you'll see that is not the case. We can just go right in. Also, if you needed food in that last one, you could also talk to Kofik, and he will give you food too. And jump in the well. So I'm going to go all the way west. Get out of this horrible place for now. So for this next part, I will be including a map that shows the Isftar points of interest as well as certain NPCs, particularly for some of the quests. So if you get lost, feel free to refer to that. I'm going to try to have it remain on screen, but I don't know how big I'm going to be able to make it. Okay, you want to go west. You'll be stopped by Idris. Well then. So we're gonna go southwest. Be mindful of traps in this area, particularly on the ground. Now these leaves, you're gonna want to click on the side closest to you and jump. So be wary, you don't want to just run over those haphazardly or you're gonna have to climb up and try it again. Inevitably, we want to wind up where Lord Iorwerth is, so the white circle. The only problem is, until a certain point, we cannot traverse through where the white rectangles are, till we learn how to go through them. You want to go south, just around here to the west and the north. So we're going to want to pass the sticks. You can fail, and if you fail, these will whap you. Move north past here. You're gonna see another leaf trap. So remember, click on your side and jump over. Go in between, go over these ponds here, just north of them. and cross this log. Now, one of these things is not like the other. One of them does not have a pointy hat. That is Lord Iorwerth. We're going to want to talk to him. Now we're going to want to go back the way we came to find an elf tracker. So we're going to go back to where the stick trap was, but instead of going over it, instead we will go past it and south. Jump over the leaf trap. Now here you will see the stick trap. You're going to want to go south past it. And then just here to the southeast, we have the elf tracker, so talk to him. Rude. Go back to Lord Iorwerth. Speak to Lord Iorwerth about his bad customer service reps. Okay, back to the elf tracker. Remember the leaf trap? Now, just west of here, you're going to see some tracks. If you click follow, they will go through impassable woodland. Now, to figure out how to go through this, we're going to want to talk to the elf tracker again. Now we can climb through the dense forest. Gonna have to click through it 3 times. After doing this, a Tyras Guard will spawn. If you want a safe spot, run just a little west and get him caught on the other side of the mushrooms. You only have a set amount of time to kill him before he will despawn, so make sure to make it a little quick. Even though he has a halberd, he cannot reach you. However, if he despawns, you're going to have to go to Tyras camp and kill one of those guys, which can get you with their hally. So let's pop him off. I just want my arrows back. Okay, once you've killed them, this is the chance of you getting poisoned. Right here, you see how there's these 4 crossbows on the ground. They are pointing towards the tripwire. Looking over these rocks, what you want to do is you want to right click. There's a little wire here in between the rocks. Both of them, so you can't get away from this. You want to try to step over tripwire. Oof, and there I am, poisoned. Gonna cure myself of that. And you want to go north through the dense forest. Dense forest always comes in groups of 3s, so get used to clicking on that 3 times. And just to the west, and then south. We're going to have more dense forest, and we're going to get to Camp Tyras. And in the middle, we are going to find General Heining. He's going to be the one without orange on his head. So I'm going to get rid of this pie and the stew, and that'll open up some inventory space for me. You're going to want to take 2 barrels. So either if you mess up this distilling process we're going to have to do, if not, just save it for one of the next quests we have to do. Yay. So we're going to head back to near where the elf tracker is, but we're going to go south of them. Remember to be wary of the tripwire. So we're going east and then south. Through the dense forest. Stepping over the tripwire. At this point, my antidote will keep me away from the poison. I'll still get hit though, but... And then east through this forest. Now right here, where it gets closest, we're going to want to use our barrel on the tar and get us some tar. I recommend filling up both of the barrels and getting 2 pieces of sulfur. Okay, and right here, you're going to want to get sulfur, so that's 3 wonderful items. Now, we can ditch the crystal pendant at this point, and we're going to want to return to Lord Iorwerth. And thankfully, now that we know how to traverse the dense forest, we can just go all the way north. Jump the leaves here. This is still pretty much all going to be the easiest way to get back to Lord Iorwerth. Then the lung balance, and let's find him. I don't think he ever really moves much. So you're going to want to read the book and make sure to keep it in your inventory. And if you do not have a pot in your bank, there is a spawn right here in the tent to the north. Now we're going to go to any which bank that we can. So I'm going to head to Draenor since we're going to need to use a furnace and then head to Remington. So you need your limestone, sulfur, pot, pestle mortar, 4 balls of wool if you need the strip of cloth, as well as those gloves I mentioned earlier. So now I'm going to head to Falador because there's a furnace there, quite handy dandy. And along the way, I'm going to stop in at the loom at the Falador farm and make myself a strip of cloth. So loom it up with a strip of cloth. And now we can go to Falador, and there's where are the furnaces? So making sure that those gloves are equipped, use your limestone on the furnace. Use your pestle and mortar on the quicklime. That will give you a pot of quicklime. Now use your pestle and mortar on the sulfur. Now we're going to want to go to the bank. We're going to need to keep our pot of quicklime ground sulfur, strip of cloth, 1 or 2 barrels of the coal tar, just in case we screw up. Make sure to keep your book with you. You're going to need several coal, as in potentially several dozens, so ditch your food. You can bring it noted with you, just remember to bring some coins. And I'm going to bring another stamina potion because this running is killing me. And head to the chemist's house in Remington. At this point, if you want to, you can get your Graceful on. I'll be doing this distillation part, then I'll be doing my Graceful outfit. Because we're just going to need to run from here on in. No more fighting. So go south. Just to the west of Remington is the chemist's house, and that's where we're going to want to go distill. Because where else to craft highly explosive things than a chemist's place? So we're going to go inside and talk to the chemist, choosing chat option number 2. If you want, you can always use the shop to unnote your coal. Otherwise, let's go over here to the still just outside and to the west within the gate in the corner. Now, if you want, you can do this twice because you need a barrel of naphtha for Morning's End Part 1. Use the barrel of coal tar here on the fractionalizing still. Now turn the tar regulator all the way. When the pressure gets in the green, that's when we go. Then turn the pressure valve to the middle notch, and should your pressure gauge go into the red, you can just flick your pressure valve to the right quickly and then back to the middle to halt it. If at any point these gauges go to the red zone, you lose your barrel. Okay, now we need to keep the heat in the green. Whatever you do, do not spam add coal. So click coal gradually one at a time, trying to keep the bar in the green zone. And when this bar goes all the way, that's when we know we're done. You don't need to touch these anymore. You just need to keep the heat on while distillation happens. And there we go. X out of the window when you're done. Now we have a barrel of naphtha. If you want to, you can repeat this process again for when you're going to need it in Morning's End Part 1. I'll just be saving it again for when I need to do that for the quest guide. So use your pot of lime on it. Then your sulfur. And lastly, your strip of cloth. Okay, now we're going to want to go prepare to go through the underground pass one last time. So remember agility agility potions or summer pies, bow and fire arrows, couple of ropes, tinderbox spade, anti-poison stuff, planks, food. You're going to want to bring your cooked rabbit, or I'm going to be cooking mine there. So bring your axe, and of course your barrel bomb. At this point, I don't need the big book of banks, but you will want a few stamina potions as well as some GP in case you want to buy food in the pass from the dwarves, as well as a way to get back to Ardoyne, on top of the teleport to get there in the first place, because afterwards you are going to need to go back to talk to the king. So head to Ardoyne and we get to go through Underground Pass again. Yay! So as I covered it earlier in the video, I'm not going to be vocally saying what to do this time. I'm just going to be doing it. So once here, we're going to want to go north of Tyras, near the elf tracker. Just remember to look out for all the traps. And kill a rabbit. Light a fire and cook its corpse. And now we can head on to Camp Tyras. Now, just north of the Tyras camp, we have a catapult, and we're going to see the Tyras Guard nearby. And he's easily distracted by using the cooked rabbit on him. Use your bomb on the catapult. And bye-bye. Whoops, did I do that? Well, I'd say we have mission success, so we can return to Lord Iorwerth. Now I'm going to use an alternate way. I went back through the stick path, and that way you just go over the bridge and cross dense forest, and you're there. Now we're gonna go back to Ardoin Castle and speak to King Lathis. Wonderful, we help the bad guys again. Congratulations, you've helped the bad guy and you've completed the Regicide quest. You're awarded 3 quest points, 15,000 GP, 13,750 agility XP, the quick route to Isfdar via Arandar. Gonna bring up my map, and where that is this is Arandar, and you just go through there. But a much better way is you can now charter ships to Port Tyras. This is the way that I prefer. You can also buy a dragon halberd for 325k at the Tyras camp. You can use elf camp teleport scrolls as well as Zalandra teleport scrolls so that you can go kill Zulrah. So that is all for this one. I will see you for Roving Elves. I hope this helped you, and as always, thank you for watching. Feel free to give it a thumbs up or down, depending on whether or not you liked it, and whether or not you did, feel free to drop a comment in the section below, telling me what you liked or what I could improve about my guides. And you can also feel free to follow me by following the links in the description below to my Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Streamlabs, and the very rare time that I actually stream on Twitch. So, until the next guide, ciao! I hate elf quests, 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 I hate elf quests. I really hate elf quests.